You are tuned into WDG Underground Columbus, home of the unsigned artist, and this is Big C in the Morning. This is the Friday morning show that starts your Friday morning off right in your weekend early. Happy Friday, everybody. It is Friday, November 13th, 2020. And yes, it is Friday the 13th in 2020, which means anything can happen. Anything can happen. Seriously. Having Friday the 13th on in like 2020, it equals like bad stuff probably happening, but it may not. Who knows? Anything could happen. Like seriously, we could probably see, I don't know, aliens coming down from the sky and just like, bam, saying hi, how you doing? But again, anything can happen. Anything can happen technically. All right. Well, let's start Friday morning off with our topics today. Let's start the show. Here we go. So, our first topic I would like to talk today, because this week sucked. Seriously, this week has absolutely sucked. And I picked two topics on the reasons why this week sucked. So, here's the first topic. Ohio State versus Maryland. That game canceled. Yeah, it got canceled because it seems Maryland can't even, be COVID free. Like, seriously. 8 players from Maryland's football team got tested positive for COVID. And so that game for the Buckeyes against the Terrapins canceled. It is canceled. And that means they're not going to play it. No rescheduling, no postponement. It is canceled. No game played on there. So that means basically the Buckeyes are now halfway through the season with only 3 wins and 0 losses. I was expecting Ohio State to win one more, so it'd be like, 4 wins and 0 losses. But apparently it can't happen. No 4 and 0 for the Buckeyes this week. So we got to look on to next week against Indiana. So technically, what the Buckeyes are getting is a bye week. They're basically getting a bye week, and it's probably going to hurt their shot at the playoffs. Like seriously, why don't you let the Buckeyes play somebody else? Like seriously, the Big Ten rules for this season, this 2020 season, is that they must play the 8 teams that they are playing, which means all of your East Division opponents, and then like the 6 East Division opponents they play, and then 2 West Division opponents. And we've already versed Nebraska. They're in the West, and the next West team is Illinois. And honestly, Maryland was going to be a tough team to compete against, like this week, but apparently we can't play them. And I don't know what. I think Maryland is like 2-1, so basically they're out of the Big Ten championship technically. If Ohio State wins out, they can't possibly win the East Division. They can finish in second place though, but they won't win the Big Ten. The Big Ten East. So yeah, with that cancellation, the Buckeyes have now need to play like 7 games, which is like 4 games left. So the Buckeyes are halfway through the season right now, and they've got some tough games ahead. They've got Indiana, then Illinois, then Michigan State, and then that team up north. Indiana is going to be a pretty tough game because they're the 13th ranked team, and they might be in the top 10 next week. Because I have a bad feeling that Indiana might win the Big Ten this year. I have a bad feeling that might happen, but I don't want that to happen. I want Ohio State to win because Ohio State, they're a good team. But what I saw at Rutgers was terrible, and we'll get into that. But honestly, I feel ashamed of Maryland. Why couldn't you seriously tell your players to, stay away from COVID stuff, like going to parties or whatever? Like, how did these players get COVID? Honestly, I feel like Maryland should have done better to protect their players. But, Maryland, they're not really good playing Big Ten football because, Maryland used to be part of the ACC and then they decided, hey, let's move to the Big Ten. So as you can see, Maryland, they're not a football school. They're just not a football school. And even though they got like Tua's brother, I can't really pronounce Tua's brother's name, but yeah, Tua's brother, he committed to Alabama, and then he decided to transfer out of Alabama to Maryland. And so far, Tua's brother is doing pretty well for himself. Um, but yeah, this was going to be a tough road test for the Buckeyes, but apparently no. Apparently Maryland can't keep their players safe. Cause why do you think that it's smart to tell your players do whatever you want, it's not our problem. And then when game time comes around, boom, you got players with COVID. It makes no sense. And besides, why did they decide to cancel this game because of, 8 players getting COVID? You have backups. You have backups on your team. You've got a bunch of backups. You could fill those 8 spots with your second string, your third string. Seriously. Why aren't you using your backups? You're basically killing playing time for your players that haven't got a chance to play. Seriously. It's so confusing. Why would you cancel the game you're about to play this week just because of 8 players who got COVID? Seriously. You could easily fill those spots with your backups. But no. Apparently, 8 players is too much and you have to cancel. Wisconsin had 20 players with COVID, including their quarterback. So I think that's a reason, and they got their head coach. But still, I feel like a little mean when Wisconsin canceled. I was like, okay, maybe they should cancel because they probably don't have enough players. But then another thought goes to mind: why don't they just use their backup? Seriously, if one of your players on a particular position gets COVID, you can just put in one of your backups. Seriously. 8 players is enough to get you canceled, and you got a bunch of backups. You have a bunch of backups. You could just easily put one of them and say, okay, let's play ball. But no. Apparently when you get 8 players, you cancel. My theory is Maryland didn't want to get destroyed by Ohio State this year. We would have dropped, another 70 points on them like we did last year back in the horseshoe. That was pretty cool. I honestly thought that was pretty cool. Dropping 70 points on them. So yeah. I'm a little disappointed in Maryland just because, obviously they can't seem to get anything right. Seriously, put in your backups. Give them playing time. I'm predicting that Maryland loses a lot of players next year because, I think there's going to be a lot of transferring out of Maryland because I bet some of those players are pretty angry because they're like, why? Just why? And seriously, 8 players is enough to, cover. You just putting your backups. I cannot express this much. If you got 8 players, out for COVID, you have 8 new players to put in and, get everything ready. But no, apparently it means canceled. It means canceled. It makes no sense, people. It just makes no sense. So yeah, I'm very disappointed in Maryland. I really thought they could, be kind sports and let us play, but no. Since they got 8 players tested for COVID, they're like, yeah, we're not going to put any backups, and you know what, we're not going to play, so cancel it. And I really think this could hurt Ohio State's playoff chances because we are currently ranked 3rd. Honestly, we should have been ranked 2nd, but no, Notre Dame jumped us. I don't know how that happened, but it happened. And Clemson, I feel like they didn't fall back far enough. They fell to fourth. They can easily climb back up to the first place, to the number one spot. You just never know. And it's going to be very interesting when these playoff rankings come out because I will be either disappointed or happy. Because the only way Ohio State wins the national championship is if they verse Notre Dame in the Rose Bowl. Now, Ohio State has won the last 4 meetings against Notre Dame. They beat Notre Dame in the Fiesta Bowl twice, back in 2016 and 2006, and then they beat Notre Dame back in 1995 and 1996. So, basically, if Ohio State gets into the playoffs at the number 3 or number 2 spot, and they verse Notre Dame, then it's good. We're all good. The only teams that I would have a problem with are Clemson and Alabama. Now, there's a thing here that Notre Dame might actually play Clemson again in the ACC championship. If that happens, and Clemson wins, and they verse Ohio State in the Rose Bowl, I have a bad feeling that Ohio State might not make it to the national championship. That's the thing. But I'm worried about the rest of the season. Like, seriously, anything can happen. Like, the AP poll next Sunday, like this coming Sunday, they could put the Buckeyes out of the top 4. They could. Or the AP should just cut us some slack and, just keep us at the 3 spot. But if we drop significantly low, I think Ohio State might lose the hopes of a playoff spot in a national championship. Even though I really want the Buckeyes to make the playoffs again and win the national championship, if the AP poll just dumps us completely to 10th or 15th, I think it's over. I think it's over for the Buckeyes for their playoff contention. But if we beat Indiana, we beat Illinois, we beat Michigan, and we beat Michigan State, I think the Buckeyes have a chance to win. Well, a chance to get in the playoffs and hopefully get to the national championship. But yeah, we just gotta focus. If we beat Indiana, Illinois, Michigan State, and Michigan, and win the Big Ten, the Buckeyes have a supreme chance at making the playoffs. Because honestly, the Buckeyes made the playoffs last year. I mean, you've got to let the Buckeyes in because they showed some fierce action against Clemson. So obviously you got to put the Buckeyes in. If you don't put the Buckeyes in, you're basically saying, "Oh, Ohio State's very terrible at this sport." And I know they're not because they've tried so hard to get into the playoffs and into the national championship game that's obviously, they should be in. It's obviously they should be in. And if you don't put them in, well, it's just weird. It's awkward. So yeah. All right. So now to Ohio State and Rutgers. I thought this game was going pretty good in the first half, but then the second half, we just started to put our foot off the gas. Like, seriously. What are we doing? Like, the recent game I saw was, again, the game against Rutgers. I was very upset. We should have been running up the score, but apparently we're not allowed to do that. I don't know why. Why would you just not run up the score? You've been doing this for a long time. Like the Buckeyes, they've been running up the score since last year. They ran up the score against Nebraska. They, like this year, they ran up the score against Maryland last year. They ran up the score against Miami, Ohio last year. Like last year, we ran up the score against Miami, Ohio, Maryland, and I don't know what other teams. But I know we ran the score. And this year we ran the score against Nebraska. Had a tight battle with Penn State this year, but we didn't run up the score against Rutgers. It was 35-3 in the second half. Well, I mean in the first half. And then all of a sudden, second half, you let them score 24 points, and we have only 14 points. Like, why don't you run up the score? It's Rutgers. Ryan, you ran up the score against Rutgers all the time. Well, back in 2018 when you took over for Urban Meyer for like 3 games. But seriously, why do you not run up the score? You need to run up the score. It makes everybody happy. It makes, people working the AP and the coaches poll saying, oh, Ohio State is doing pretty good. They're running up the score. Let's put them up more. We would have been number 2 if you would have just ran up the score. If Ryan Day would have ran up the score, we would have been number 2 instead of Notre Dame. But no. Apparently the AP poll and the coaches poll are very, very happy when you run up the score. So next time we need to just run up the score. If we need to run up the score against anybody, it needs to be somebody like Indiana or Illinois or Michigan State, because seriously, it's so it is so simple. All you need to do to move up in high places in the polls is if you run up the score. But no. Apparently we just got to give Rutgers, 24 points, saying, oh, it was a close game. Because seriously, we beat Rutgers by 22 points. We beat Rutgers by 22 points. They could have scored 3 touchdowns, 2 point afters, and a 2-point conversion to tie it up. Like, seriously. They could have done, if they would have gotten one of those onside kicks, Rutgers could have upset us. And this is Greg Schiano. He knows what we do. Like, seriously. It makes no sense why you would not run up the score. It makes no sense. And there was also some flaws on offense and defense. Like, seriously. Why would you run the ball in like the fourth quarter to keep the clock running? Seriously, they're going to continue. Their defense was damaging our run game. You need to pass the ball. If you run the ball, you cannot score a touchdown. If you pass it, you have a chance to score a touchdown. It makes no sense. I cannot believe what I saw in that Rutgers game. That was terrible. That was a terrible second half for the Buckeyes. I'm sorry, but it was. It was supreme garbage. It was supreme garbage. That is the most garbage second half I have ever seen in my life. We almost choked against a Rutgers team that's not even that good. They were 1-1, people. They were 1-1. They're not that good. But apparently, somehow we just said, oh, we got this. We just got to run the ball. But no, I wanted them to run up the score. I wanted to drop 50 on Rutgers, but apparently we are not allowed to drop 50 on Rutgers because, well, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. It's unbelievable, and I am very, very disappointed. I'm very disappointed. I am just so disappointed that my disappointment levels have gone way up. Seriously. We should have ran up the score. But no, apparently we took it slow and just ran the ball to run out the clock. I don't know what Ryan Day was thinking. He should have just ran up the score. If he would have just ran up the score, everyone could have gone home happy and could have gone home, well, going to bed happy, and we would have been number 2, the number 2 team in the country. But no, apparently, we're not allowed to do that anymore. So I don't know what that's all about, but whatever. So yeah, I was very disappointed in the Rutgers game. We got the win, but we should have ran up the score more. We should have scored 50 on them like we did in Nebraska, but apparently can't do that. So yeah, sad I don't get to see the Buckeyes again this week because, Maryland can't, keep their players healthy away from the COVID. Because, Maryland, they're always going to finish last or in the middle of the Big Ten East. And besides, a lot of other games got canceled. Like Alabama and LSU got canceled. Well, postponed, technically. And honestly, the Buckeyes, we would have found a non-conference opponent, and we would have went up against them. But apparently, due to Big Ten rules, we're not allowed to do that. Nebraska tried to do the same thing, but the Big Ten prevented it. Hey, Big Ten, let us play non-conference opponents. If you just deliberately, say, oh, sorry, you can't play any non-conference opponents to increase your chances of making the playoffs, you're killing, well, basically, you're shooting your own teams, the teams in your conference, in the foot from, making it to the national championship or, the Big Ten championship. Because for Ohio State to make the championship, Ohio State needs to play 6 games exactly to make the Big Ten championship. Now, we only got 1 canceled game. We are allowed to have a second game canceled, but if that gets canceled, we can't cancel a third game. So basically, you only get 2 strikes, and if you get your third strike, you're out of the Big Ten championship. You're ineligible, which is stupid. Why would you make your teams ineligible for the Big Ten championship if they haven't played 6 games? It's stupid. And besides, Wisconsin, they're bound to have a third game canceled, so what are you going to do? What is the Big Ten going to do? I'm pretty sure Wisconsin's going to be like, hey, we deserve to be in the Big Ten championship. Why not let us in? Let us in. We're undefeated. We're 5-0. But nope, you can't do that because you only played 5 games and not 6 games, so you're ineligible and you're not the Big Ten champion. Lol. So yeah, the Big Ten is flawed. They butchered this so bad. The Big Ten has butchered this 2020 season so bad. I don't know what the Big Ten's going to do next year. But I'm really hoping that there's a COVID vaccine that, I just hope the COVID vaccine's here before, next season, because this season has been such a blunderfest. It is a big old blunderfest in the Big Ten. And I'm just hoping that, Ohio State wins every single game, wins the Big Ten championship, gets into the playoff, and hopefully wins the national championship. If not, I'm going to be very sad. Or we could just do what UCF did back in 2017 and declare ourselves the national champion. I mean, we would be undefeated if we don't get into the playoffs. But yeah, it's this season's a blunder. This was the biggest blunder I've ever seen. It is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a break. I know I need a break because, oh boy, I am pretty mad. I'm pretty mad at the Big Ten and stuff. But we're going to take a break, but when we come back, next topic we're going to talk about is remembering one of the greatest game show hosts of all time, Alex Trebek. So stay tuned for that. This is Big C in the Morning on WDG Underground Columbus, home of the Unsigned Artist, and let's get some music popping in here. So here's Rain Down by Mr. Ev Jones. So yeah, we'll be right back.
Let it rain. Yeah. They say love is an action word. Well, I'm here to show you the actual accurate acts and ways to love a soldier. I'm here to tell you all the facts your daddy should have told you. It ain't all between your hips, but the way you hold them down. Cause the storm gon' come. And when you're walking through that rain, baby, please don't run. I swear, you look so good wet. Standing there right on his left. Excited to step bare feet in the manure. You gotta pick a roll, then maneuver. Even when he down in the sewer, he's conscious of the rats. But stop, look, and listen, girl, be careful of the traps. They biting at his ear, right? And he might give a rat a listen. You gotta give him fact over fiction. That's your only mission. Listen, another's just a screw. I bet he going ham over you, babe. Pick your battles. Remember April rain, producers made flowers, and them day showers, concluding spectrums of light, exceptional sight. Girls, stop projecting the fight. It's an all-out battle. This thing called love. Every feeling getting worked just to keep out floods. And why? So you cannot give a damn, but build one up just to obstruct where you stand. Let them floodgates rupture. Girl, keep it real. How it feel when he touch you? This is what I know. If it's raining in your lives, it's to help y'all grow. And no, don't blame it on the rain while bother. Cause 98% of this world is all water. So that just leaves two. Just enough land for your man plus you. Yeah. Rockefeller. The world is full of weather if you're standing on a weak foundation. Don't mourn if the storm rock nations. If every day is super sunny, then what's a sunny day? And what's love if you never had to feel the hate? What do you gain if you never struggle through the pain? I pray to God to let it rain. And when it does, watch the fake scatter. Hate move from the shelter so they don't matter. Running away from this world, this is love splatter. Baptism in the water, give us God chatter. I'm talking to you. Will you love your man through all the struggle? Are you strong enough to match his hustle? Strong enough to let him love you? Everybody loves a sunny day. But tell me, baby, are you strong enough to stand the rain? Let me know.
Way down.
What I enjoy most about Ohio Media School is that we are able to get connections with the outside world, with the real media. I enjoy getting to know different people that are already doing what I want to do. And special shout out to AB, special shout out to J Love, and also Young Nisa.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back on WDG Underground Columbus, home of the unsigned artists. And this is Big C in the morning. Now to the second topic that I picked that I think that this week sucked is last Sunday, America and the world lost one of the greatest game show hosts of all time. And that man is Alex Trebek. Alex Trebek, and my phone's going off. So yeah, Alex Trebek passed away last Sunday after battling stage 4 pancreatic cancer. He was 80 years old. If you don't know what happened to Alex, so back in March of 2019, Alex Trebek he didn't suffer, but he was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And he was upbeat about it. He was very upbeat about it, and he said he was going to fight this. And man, he fought this disease really hard. And he made Bob Barker look like a pansy. Seriously, Alex Trebek was a fighter. He was a fighter. Seriously, and when I heard about his passing, I was just shocked. I did not want this to happen. I feared this day. But I was like, hey, Alex Trebek, he made it through the 1 year mark. He can make it through the second year mark. Because he was past a year and a half. So I was like, hey, maybe he'll make it to 2 years. I know he can. He's a fighter. He's awesome. He's one of the greatest game show hosts of all time. He is undefeated, never lost. But sadly, he passed away. He never got to his second year mark, and he just passed. He passed away, and I did not want this to happen. I did not want that to happen. I wanted Alex to live to into his 90s, maybe in 100 years old. Because when somebody that you've known on TV, radio, or the internet for so long, it feels like you've lost a close family member or close friend that you've known for your whole lifetime. I knew Alex for since I was 3 years old. I knew him since I was 3 years old. I knew the man. I didn't know him, but I knew him from the TV. I've watched Jeopardy all the time when I was a little kid. I didn't know the questions, but I enjoyed the sounds and all the things he's doing. Seriously, when I was a kid, I was bored, so whenever I was bored, I'd watch, maybe Jeopardy, The Price is Right, Wheel of Fortune. But Jeopardy was my favorite game show because, honestly, it's fun to hear, what new things are. Like science stuff that I didn't know, history stuff I didn't know, and general stuff I didn't know. So when I was little, I didn't know anything. But when I got older, I was like, hey, I know this stuff. And I'd get the question I would get every single question right. Well, not every single question, but I'd get some questions right. But some I would get wrong. And basically what actually got me even more into Jeopardy was the video games with Alex Trebek. Seriously. The first ever Jeopardy video game I played was the Jeopardy game for the PlayStation 2. And it was fun. It was fun. And playing Jeopardy on the Wii and the Nintendo DS, those were fun versions too. It had Alex, so anything with Alex Trebek on him is good. So yeah. But now I'd like to take you guys through a tour of Alex's life. So, Alex Trebek, he was actually Canadian. If you didn't know that, he was born in Ontario, Canada, uh, in a place in Ontario called Greater Sudbury, and his real name was George Alexander Trebek, and his father was actually named George too. So yeah, so I think they call him Alex. So yeah, he was born in Canada, in Ontario. Um, he got a job at the CBC, which is the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, when he was like in college, so he can like pay off his loans, his college loans. His first hosting job was a music program called Music Hop, basically Canadians' version of American Bandstand. So if you don't know what American Bandstand is, it's a show where music's played, and it was hosted by Dick Clark. So yeah, and actually before Alex got that show Music Hop, he did a bunch of special events for CBC Radio, CBC Television, and even sports like curling and horse racing. Like all those things that Alex did back in like the 60s, that was what he did. And it was to pay off his loans from college. I think he was majoring in I think I heard he was like majoring in philosophy and politics, I think. I think that was true. I think that was. Yeah. And then he got to host a high school quiz show called Reach for the Top back in 1966. Basically, I compare that show to In the Know. If you don't know what In the Know is, it's like a high school quiz show. It's basically like that. I think that's what inspired In the Know, Reach for the Top. It's basically In the Know except the Canadian version. But yeah, that's pretty nice, and then Alex Trebek finally got a call from the United States saying, "Hey, host a game show for us," and he finally got it back in 1973 for NBC, and it was called The Wizard of Odds, not Oz, Odds. And a fun fact: this actually got like his first game show was actually a show on a question on Jeopardy. And even Alex, he screwed it up. He said it was The Wizard of Oz, but it's actually The Wizard of Odds. And then he said, was it me or was it the show? And the thing is, it actually lasted only one season. So, yeah. And then after that, he hosted High Rollers, which was like a dice game show. And then after that got canceled, he did this show Double Dare, not to be confused with the Nickelodeon Double Dare, but the other Double Dare was like a quiz show. And Double Dare was like a quiz show, but it wasn't, it didn't have obstacle courses. This Double Dare did not have obstacle courses. So, yeah. And that show got canceled after one season. And then he got to host the $128,000 question, which actually was recorded in Toronto. So yeah, he made like guest appearances on Card Sharks and a bunch of other shows like Celebrity Bowling, The Magnificent Marble Machine, which was a game show on NBC. And he also hosted a couple more game shows like Battle Stars. And it got canceled in 1982. So yeah, Alex was not having a good time trying to get a good hit, like a good hitting game show. And then he hosted Pitfall, that got canceled. Basically, a lot of stuff got canceled. Um, Also, during like 1982, Alex Trebek actually, I think it was like in 1981 or 1982, Alex Trebek hosted like guest hosted Wheel of Fortune because the old host back in like the early 80s before Pat Sajak was Chuck Woolery, and then like when Chuck Woolery got sick, Alex Trebek became the guest host, and yeah, and somehow Merv Griffin, the guy who created Wheel of Fortune and also Jeopardy back when it first aired in 1964, he contacted Alex and said, "Hey, we're reviving Jeopardy. Would you like to be the host?" Now, here's a fun fact about Jeopardy. It actually was started back in 1964, and then it went, and then it like ended back in 1975. And the host of the show was Art Fleming, which is a name nobody knows. And actually, Jeopardy was revived before the 1980s. So back in like 1978, Jeopardy was revived for a short bit, and then it got pulled off the air. Well, canceled technically. And Merv Griffin was like, "Hey, come host the show." And Alex was like, "Are you gonna pay me?" And they were like, "Yes." And here's a crazy thing. Alex said that he wanted that. Are you gonna? The reason he said, "Are you gonna pay me?" And then, excuse me. And then like Merv Griffin was like, "We need a producer," and he's like, and Alex Trebek is like, "Can I produce the show?" It was like, and Merv Griffin was like, "Okay." And then when he got the hosting gig and the producing gig, he basically was earning like a similar amount of money he was doing the other game shows. So yeah, Alex Trebek got the Jeopardy gig, and yeah, and here's a fun fact. Um, Art Fleming, the old host of Jeopardy, was supposed to be the host of the revival, but he turned it down. Why? I don't know. I guess he got tired of hosting Jeopardy. But yeah, Alex Trebek became the host of Jeopardy back in 1984, and that it was, oh boy, 1984. That was a long time ago. That was like 36 years ago, if I'm right. Yeah, 36 years ago. And then it became a hit. Jeopardy somehow became a huge hit. Hit out of nowhere. It's because of Alex Trebek. He was a cool host. He was trying to be hip with the new audience, so to speak. But yeah, Alex Trebek became the host, and during his time as the host, he also became a host on two other game shows. He became the host of Classic Concentration and To Tell the Truth. And here's the craziest thing. He was the first ever TV show host, to be hosting three shows at one time. So as you can see, Alex was making big bucks as the host of Jeopardy, Classic Concentration, and To Tell the Truth. So yeah. And those shows didn't last long because they both ended in 1991. So yeah, and but Jeopardy kept going, man. It kept going. And in 1997, as an April Fool's Day thing, Alex Trebek and Pat Sajak, who are good friends and so-called rivals, they switched as the hosts of Wheel of Fortune. So of Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. So Alex would be hosting Wheel of Fortune, and Pat Sajak would be hosting Jeopardy. And I thought that was a cool idea. It was a splendid April Fool's Day joke. Ha 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 ha. So yeah, he continued to host Jeopardy and all that other stuff. He even made special guest appearances in like TV shows like The X-Files, The Simpsons, Family Guy, just a lot of TV shows, and everybody liked that. Everybody liked that. Trebek. Alex Trebek also he was married twice. He married a woman named Elaine Collier, Collier, or Collet, or I can't pronounce it. Um, Basically, he married that woman, and then they had no children together. But Trebek adopted his first wife's daughter, Nikki, and then they divorced in 1981, and then he married Jean Curven, who was a real estate project manager from New York, and they had two children named Matthew and Emily. And yeah, he also ran the Olympic torch back in 1996 when the Olympics came to Atlanta, and he became a United States citizen back in 1998. So yay! And yeah, and he also shaved his mustache back in late 2001 because he wanted to shock everyone. And I kind of got used to like the no. I was always used to the no mustache Trebek, and not the mustache Trebek. So yeah, there's a lot of great facts. Health wise, he's had a lot of health things after like before his pancreatic cancer diagnosis. In 2007, he suffered a minor heart attack. In July 2011, he injured an Achilles tendon while chasing down a burglar, and he had to be in a cast for 6 weeks. And then June 2012, he suffered a mild heart attack, but he was able to return to work. And then in 2017, he hit his head and got a subedural hematoma. And he was okay. So yeah, Alex Trebek went through a lot. He suffered 2 heart attacks, a broken Achilles tendon, and bleeding of the brain. So yeah, he also got his tonsils out back when I think he was like a child. So yeah, a lot of stuff has happened to Alex. But as you know, he got diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. He announced it in March 6, 2019 because of it. And everyone was blown away. I was even blown away with this, but he was like, "Hey, I'm going to fight it and I'm going to beat it." So yeah. And he's been giving a lot of updates on his cancer diagnosis, and he even published a memoir called "The Answer Is: Reflections of My Life" on my life, which I kind of want to read that book. And then he underwent surgery in late October of this year to do cancer treatment. And he returned to the show on October 29th, a week after the surgery, and was able to do the workload he did. And so he taped his last show that day. And this week, Alex Trebek passed away. So he taped his last episodes 2 weeks before he died, and they're going to be aired all throughout the rest of November and into Christmas. His last show is on Christmas Day, and I will be watching that show on Christmas Day because Alex Trebek, man, he has been in my life for a long time, and I know he's been in a lot of people's lives a long time, and it's sad to see him go, but cancer sucks. It just sucks. It honestly does suck. And I know a lot of people are going to be missing him. And Jeopardy will not be the same without him. It just won't. It just won't. So I think I speak for all people when I say we're going to miss him. We're going to miss him a lot, and nobody will ever replace him. Just nobody will replace him. It's just a devastating loss, and I think it's one of the worst losses in 2020. It's got to be, and I've said it before. 2020, you suck. Just simple as that. 2020, you suck, or you suck 2020. Whichever one you want to say. 2020 sucks. It sucks. It definitely sucks. So yeah, rest in peace, Alex Trebek. Thank you for all the memories you gave me, and thank you for making me smarter. Because honestly, Jeopardy, it has made me smarter. Yes, but also school. School also made me a little smarter. But Jeopardy, it obviously made me smarter. All right, so we're gonna take a break, and then when we come back, we're gonna end the show. So yeah. This is Big C in the Morning on WUDG Underground Columbus, home of the unsigned artists, and let's get some music here. Let's get a music video here. Here's Hit the Lights by The Dog. Ooh, that sounds like a good one. So yeah, we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Hit the lights, hit the lights, lights, hit the lights, lights, hit the lights, lights, get the lights, hit the lights, lights, hit the lights, hit the lights, lights, hit the lights, lights. Walked up in the building, liking what I see. A lot of fine women, man, winking back at me. Just met this little cutie, representing Philly. Before the party's over, we getting kinda naughty. Show love to my dogs, show love to my crew. And if I buy you a drink, you know I rocks with you. Hey yo, that's my DJ, rocking it up on the stage. Hand me the mic, dog, this is what I'll say. Turn the lights out, turn the music up. If you came to party, man, get your hands up. Turn the lights out, turn the music up. If you came to party, baby, get your hands up. Turn the lights out, turn the music up. If you came to party, player, get your hands up. Turn the lights out, turn the music up. If you came to party, girl, get your hands up. DJ, hit the lights, lights, hit the lights, lights, get the lights, lights, trip the lights, get the lights, man, we about to hit the lights, lights, hit the lights, lights, get the lights, man, get the lights, lights, get the lights, man, we about to hit the lights. One more for the money, two more for the show, three more for the people. DJ, here we go. Put guns down, drinks all around. The party of the week, man, about to go down. The dance floor's packed, everybody drinking. The ugly ones, the pretty ones, the bartender drinking. Get it on the dance floor, get it how you live. You only live once, so get it all in. Turn the lights out, turn the music up. If you came to party, man, get your hands up. Turn the lights out, turn the music up. If you came to party, baby, get your hands up. Turn the lights out, turn the music up. If you came to party, player, get your hands up. Turn the lights out, turn the music up. If you came to party, girl, get your hands up. DJ, hit the lights, lights, hit the lights, lights, get the lights, lights, trip the lights, get the lights, man, we about to hit the lights, lights, hit the lights, lights, get the lights, man, get the lights, lights, get the lights, man, we about to hit the lights. Lights out, this is how we party. Hands up, we all acting naughty. Lights out, this is how we party. Hands up, man, we about to hit the lights. Lights out, this is how we party. Hands up, we all acting naughty. Lights out, this is how we party. Hands up, we all acting naughty. Dog, we about to hit the lights. Man, we about to hit the lights. This is how we party.
stuck in nostalgia like me.
And we're back on WDG Underground Columbus, home of the Unsigned Artists, and this is Big C in the morning. And oh boy, well, we are at the end of the show almost. Might as well tell you guys what I'm gonna do this weekend. I'm gonna watch some football, Browns football, as you can see. Boom, Browns. Yep, gotta watch the Browns play the Texans this week. Hopefully, we don't get smacked by them. Then after today, I've gotta go and do another show on Score on Air, and then I gotta go to the BMV and take my temporary test again. Just because I want to drive a car, I need my license. A lot of people are saying, dude, you need your license. I'm like, yeah, I know, I need my license. So, yeah. I really want my license. I want my license since I was 16, and I've been just putting it back so much, and, yeah, it's just been too long. I've been wanting my license and a car for a long time. So yeah, I gotta go get my temporary again, take that temporary test again. And then for the rest of the week, probably just playing the new Call of Duty, Cold War, Black Ops Cold War, and yeah. So yeah, I'm expecting great things from the new Call of Duty game. Hopefully the zombies mode is really awesome. But I'll just have to wait and see. Anything can happen. Anything can happen indeed. Mainly the rest of the weekend just chilling. That's basically the rest of my week. Chilling and probably going to be bored. Chilling and bored. That's probably like it. I wonder what's going to happen next week. If we get shut down next week or something, I don't know. But hopefully the city won't get shut down, because I know it won't. But anyways, yeah. Hopefully there's going to be a show next week, which I definitely think there's going to be a show next week, so yeah. But anyways, that's it for my time. Thank you all for tuning in for another exciting edition of Big C in the Morning. Yeah, next week, 2 new topics. Gonna talk about them. And, yeah. Everything's gonna be cool. Everything is going to be cool. Alright, time for me to get out of here. It's 11 a.m. Time to get out of here. So this has been Big C in the Morning on WDG Underground Columbus, home of the Unsigned Artist. My name is Big C, and I am out of here. So yeah, have a great rest of your Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great weekend, and since I can't say go Bucks this weekend, I'll say go Browns. So go Browns. I'll see you next week.